All right, on today's podcast, we have a little bit of a scheduling issue. Dave from 20 North will not be here today, but I do have a special guest from KISS 102.3, D. Scott. I have to hold the button even longer. Today we're going to be hanging out at the Arsenal City Tavern. And we're going to be catching up because it's been a while since D and I have been able to hang out. That's coming up here in the next few seconds.
Hi-yo.
The Capital Brew Podcast with 20 North Dave and Nick Lee. What's brewing in the 518?
All right. What's going on, D? How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah.
Ooh,
What's going on with my mic?
That's a hot mic.
I'm good. How are you?
All right.
Can you turn my headphones up a little bit? I feel like Eminem.
How's that?
That's better.
All right.
Now I can hear better.
Yeah, so, obviously, it's been a while since you and I have hung out. What's new? What's going on?
Same old stuff, man. Just, as normal as it can be at this point with everything that's happened.
Yeah, with COVID.
Yeah, that COVID thing really messed a lot of stuff up, so... still doing the radio thing and trying to be as... I got a couple of different podcasts that I do personally.
Awesome. Still waiting for my invitation.
I think we've invited. Well, here's the thing. We're doing all the podcasts now when we have guests on with Zoom.
Yeah.
Because we used to go into the studio and, everyone would come in. And I'll figure it out. We'll figure this levels thing out. But
I might switch mics because for some reason it seems like it's muffled, like you're wearing your mask still.
But I'm not. Wait, I'm not wearing my mask.
I know.
I took it off, didn't I?
Yeah.
I don't look like. I got a Mickey Mouse mask.
I know. I noticed.
So I like to walk into the grocery stores and go, "Why, hello?" And people are like, "What the hell is going on?"
It's not me. It's the mask.
Yeah, I was like, the mask just starts talking. The Mickey impression, by the way, is something I learned that I could do and is awesome at Disney.
Yeah.
I had one person at Disney while I was there with my kids.
Yeah.
Go, you should work here. I'm like, you should point me to where they hire people.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's you, lady, who tells, okay, go next, go get your picture and autograph.
Yeah. It's not you, Ariel.
Yeah. It was like, but fun time was because my kids found out that I could do that.
Yeah.
So everywhere we went, they were like, do the voice, do the voice, do the voice. So we were in a line to meet like all the main characters, like Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Pluto, Donald, right?
Yeah.
So I go up to Minnie Mouse with the girls, and they're like, do it, do it. So I go, why, hello. And the Minnie Mouse person stops and was like, just kind of like staring at me. Well, she goes over and gets the girl that's in the Mickey costume.
Yeah.
Sorry, kids, but it's a girl in the Mickey costume. I do the voice again. He brings me over, stands me behind like the set that he's in front of.
Yeah.
He points at me and goes, you talk.
Yeah.
And I'll do all the stuff. So this little kid walks up and I'm like, why, hello. And the little girl just kind of stopped like, what the hell? So it's an interesting thing. But anyway, you can come on my podcast whenever you want.
For sure, for sure. I do want to switch up these mics. Why don't you take that mic and put that mic over there?
Okay. Do you have to do like, that's really hot too.
Well, we can turn you down.
Do you have to like edit this?
I do.
You edit this?
A little bit, sometimes.
You know what's crazy is like
It's
with
much
mine.
better, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm projecting better now. Now with mine, whatever is said
Yeah.
is what's on the podcast.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, you could just edit that out. I'm like, I don't put that much effort into my podcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not editing a damn thing. Like,
I edit out small, minor things, like if there's like a lull, like let's say Dave's telling a story, or I'm telling a story. I don't know why I blame this on Dave, but if I'm just sitting there saying, so it was last Tuesday. No. It was last Saturday. No.
Right.
It was so then I'll edit to, so last Wednesday.
right. I've been in the recording process with you before, like when we were doing the videos.
Yeah.
And the intros and outros were always an adventure.
Well, that's because we wouldn't script them, even though this isn't scripted.
Right.
But I can mess up on this, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
There, and when you mess up, it just doesn't look as good.
No, that's true. You don't really want to. Although we did have some really good blooper footage.
We did. For
we
sure.
had some. We did an entire video one time for a sale that we couldn't use.
We did? You and I?
Yeah. It was one of the first videos we did.
Okay.
and it was for Labor Day.
All right.
And there were Labradors involved.
Oh, yeah.
And we went and we spent like an hour at this.
We didn't use that video?
Not the audio from it because you didn't have me mic'd. Or like the mic wasn't on or something like that, so it was just picking up room noise.
Yeah.
So you could hear you and me kind of.
Yeah.
But we weren't mic'd, so I remember we used the video footage.
But we didn't. We did a voiceover or something.
Yeah. Like you came back to the studio and we
did a voiceover.
We were like, so we're not very bright, and this is what we did, and then we went from there.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah. I ran into so many different. Well, especially in the beginning because I didn't really know that equipment. I didn't know it's like
right.
So I don't know if I don't imagine I would have straight up forgot it as much as maybe there was a fault with it.
I also blame the camera person.
That was me.
No, you weren't. No, because you and me were playing with the dogs.
Yes.
And we had a camera person.
We did. You're right.
That never, I don't think, looked at the levels or whatever, but we just kind of like didn't realize it wasn't picking us up.
That's right. We started a new rule after that. Check the levels.
Yes. And then
I think we were mic'd up. That just wasn't like running through.
Something wasn't on.
The setting on the camera, I think, was set for the onboard camera, our onboard mic for the camera, and not set to the microphone.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't understand a word you just said.
Well, that's all in the past.
I feel like you're Jackie Chan and I'm Chris Tucker. Man, nobody understands the words coming out of your mouth.
That's just me and every day. I just live in a world of Chris Tuckers.
We definitely had some fun though in October.
Yes. Yeah, not this past October, the October beforehand. Hanging out with demons.
Yeah. Yep. The first experience ever
Yeah.
at Albany Rural Cemetery, and we run into a demon.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was our very first episode.
Yep.
Yep.
That was a good time, though.
We hung out with our Chester A. Arthur, the 25th president?
25th or 27th? Yes.
I don't know.
If only I could just grab my phone right now and Google that.
Yeah, I'm too lazy.
I don't want to pull up my web browser right now so you can see what's on there. So
just to give you a little bit of background on what my day was today, I got up super early this morning, and I took my dog to the Upstate Kennel or something in Clifton Park.
Sure.
Yeah, I forget. I want to say it's the Upstate Kennel Academy or whatever. Great
right.
people. A little bit on the expensive side, but they do a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy with Zorro, my dog's progress. But after that, I had to quickly rush home.
What are you doing there with your dog? Is it training?
Training. Disobedience. He's actually really obedient. We're doing it more for the socializing because there's other people and other dogs there.
Gotcha, okay.
He can be a little more... less understanding when there's somebody who's there other than myself and the beautiful Jessica.
Okay.
So we're trying to get him to be chill. Like, chillax, bro.
Yeah, like stop humping the company's leg.
Yeah, with your teeth.
Or biting it. Stop knowing. That is not a chew toy. That's his leg.
Yeah, that's not a chew toy. That's Terry O'Donnell. Terry can show you the scars.
Oh, good. I would have gone with humping the leg with Terry, but...
Yeah, well, he wouldn't have complained about that one.
Right, yeah, he would have been like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. The biting thing I'm not cool with.
Hump my leg all you want. Yeah. So anyway, after we got done with that, I had to rush home, drop Zorro off. I almost called him Sammy, my dog that passed away. But I had to rush him home and then head out to 20 North Broadway, where I had a meeting with Jim from Nippertown and also my co-host, Dave. And so we were there, and there may have been a podcast vibe. We definitely drank beer. We definitely talked about beer. There was shots being taken. Yeah. So I've had plenty of drinks before we even started this podcast.
Oh, good.
So I'm half awake and already a little tipsy. So
nice.
Doing things like looking on my phone. Who cares?
Dude, let me tell you, I've done a fair amount of day drinking.
Yes.
Especially now, you know, and one of my least favorite things to do is day drinking.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it.
Because see what ends up happening is I'm what everyone that knows me is well aware that I'm a lightweight when it comes to if we're drinking, I'm going to partake, but there's a real solid chance that at some point I'm going to puke and rally. But the day drinking thing, what ends up happening with me is I get too tired.
Yeah.
I get I get a headache / hangover while I'm still drinking, and I'm like, this sucks. And then I'm like taking a nap at 4:00. And then the rest of the day is like trashed because I took an hour nap. Now I'm going to be up till like 2, 3 in the morning because I took a nap during way too late in the afternoon for me to nap. If I nap at like 1, bedtime is still 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
If I nap at like 4 or 5, dude, nope, we're up watching SVU reruns until like the sun comes up, and I'm like, what the Christ just happened? I'm still awake.
I'm a little similar. I went in college. I used to say nothing good happens after 2:30 in the morning. When you're at college at the bars and drinking, fights happens. Just nothing really good happens. You end up picking up the one girl that you earlier in the night said, I'm going to stay away from her.
Yeah.
She ends up in your bed the next morning. So nothing good happens after 2:30. Now into day drinking, and I'm in my 40s. Nothing good happens after 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. You're whereabouts? Whereabouts are you in your 40s? Like. You're younger than I am, right?
I'm 41.
Okay, yeah, I just turned 44 on the 27th of October.
20 October. Yeah, so we're like a month apart. I was September 22nd.
Nice. Okay. It doesn't get any better.
No.
Let me tell you, it's not like I'm much older than you are.
Yeah.
But man, and it's funny, like all the stories you hear from people that are. I hang out with a group there are probably 5 or 6 people that are my elders.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, it really doesn't. And then some of them, it doesn't even matter. My buddy Paul, the guy I was telling you about that I was drinking bourbon with last night.
Yeah.
He can drink till like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Usually does. And then he's up at 6 o'clock no matter what the next day. He might still be drunk.
I can, but that just sucks.
We were playing golf last year. He reached out to me. He's like, listen, we're playing Fairies of Half Moon. You want to play? I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Race.
I like the course. I like it better when we play at scrambles there. I've never played well there, like my solo score.
Yeah.
But we played in a scramble there one year, which is for a bar that's actually right up the street, Pat's Pub. Okay. They do a scramble for childhood diabetes.
Oh, awesome.
Because their son has childhood diabetes. So we played. We came in 12 under.
Yeah.
We tied for first, and we ended up losing the tournament because we tied this other team. They go back on the scorecard. They pick a hole.
Yeah.
They had a lower score on that hole than we did, so they ended up winning. Then they got booed because they go up and get the prize money.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "Thank you," shakes his hand, and goes and sits down.
Yeah.
Generally speaking,
doing a speech.
Well, not even that. No, we weren't looking for anything like that. But generally, in a charity tournament like that, you kind of maybe you take what you put in, and you donate the rest back because all the earnings for the thing goes to this cause.
Yeah.
So the guy goes, "Thank you," takes the money, goes, sits down, and the guys at my table who are not nice, like if they don't, and they're not like there's no filter.
Yeah.
My buddy Brian is one of the most. First time I ever met this guy, I thought we were getting in a fight because he is just like sarcastic to everybody. He doesn't care if he knows you.
Like, are we cool or are we not cool? What's going on here?
I wasn't worried about me. I thought we were getting into a fight with
somebody else.
Somebody else because he was just like busting the balls of like everyone around.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He's an old rugby player.
Okay.
I'm like, dude, you played a sport similar to tackle football without
no
pads.
No pads, no helmet.
Yeah, we're good. I'll just stand behind you.
You taped your ears to your head so they didn't get ripped off.
Right. So, but anyway, back with Paul. So we show up on I want to say we played on a Sunday morning, and he gets out of his car. I was there early.
Yeah.
I got a chill night on Saturday. I get there, I'm putting, whatever. He shows up, so I go walking over to his car, and he looks at me and he goes, "I'm pretty sure I shouldn't have drove here." I'm like, how else are you going to get here? Like, you walk from Latham?
Get picked up?
He's like, "No, I was on the deck last night with my neighbor till 2:30 in the morning. We drank a bottle of bourbon, and I'm pretty sure I'm still drunk." And I'm like, "Yeah, you are? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I recognize that smell.
Yeah.
It smells like bourbon and regret."
Yeah.
But he was in rough shape. He looked like me. We had a surprise 40th birthday party for me that year. It was a Halloween party and stuff, but I drank a bottle of Maker's Mark.
Okay.
And I was well beyond intoxicated after that.
Yeah, for sure.
And I walk up to a group of people that were chit-chatting, friends. Paul and Brian, the two guys that I've already mentioned, they were part of this conversation.
Yeah.
I walk up, I'm like, "What are you guys talking about?" Like, "Oh, we're going to play golf tomorrow at Winding Brook." I was like, "Oh, you need a fourth?" They're like, "Sure." I'm like, "All right, we're playing at 8. I'm like, "Well,"
be there.
I was like, "Well, shit, okay." I woke up the next morning with a hangover that rivaled getting hit in the head with a 2x4 that had a hammer on the end of it.
Yeah.
took a shower, got ready. I had to drink 2 Monster Energies, or 2 Monster Rehabs, and like 4 Aleve, or 4 Tylenol, because she didn't. My girlfriend at the time, who I'm no longer with, thankfully.
That's what he said at the time.
Right, right. So my ex-girlfriend, all she had was Tylenol.
Okay.
And so I take those, and her brother was in the group that we were playing with. He's also he's a doctor, not a surgeon. He's a sports medicines doctor.
Oh, nice.
He goes, dude, what did you take? I was like, I took Tylenol. It's all your sister had. He's like, you want to give your liver a break today? I was like, what? He goes, aspirin's not, like, or Tylenol's not good for your liver.
Yeah.
I'm like, I drank a bottle of bourbon last night. I'm pretty sure that wasn't good for my liver either. So what the hell? I was like, and that's all I had. I needed some kind of pain medicine for this headache. I think I was still dry heaving by the 11th hole.
Oh, that's horrible.
It was bad.
I can't imagine swinging a golf club. I mean, well, I can. I've played once hungover. I played at Stadium. I actually got hit by a golf ball off the tee that day by one of my friends.
Where? Where did you get hit?
Oh, in the arm.
Oh, okay.
Right up here.
I didn't mean where. You kind of covered that off.
I was thinking. Well, I was trying to figure what the hole it was. It was this. I think it was the 10th hole. It's the first hole in the second back half.
Hold on, I'm trying to think where the. Let's see. All right, so that's the par 4 goes over the hill.
Yeah. It goes up the hill.
It goes up and down. Yeah, because the first and the 10th are right next to one another.
Yes.
And then it's like, I think 11 comes.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right.
So the first hole goes out next to the driving range.
Yep.
And you go out and down, and then 10 is kind of the same hole, just shifted over. Yeah. No, I love playing Stadium. We have a lot of trade with them.
Yep.
So it's really fun to not have to pay.
Well, that day I paid for obviously 18 holes, and I think maybe after the 3rd hole, I ran over to the 7th hole because there's like a porta potty there.
Okay. It's the one that's like in the trees, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to run across, and I was running across, like people were playing, but I just jumped off the golf cart. I was like, sorry guys, I gotta go. And I was in there for a little while, and I caught back up to him. Oof. I think probably on the 5th, because the 4th is a par 4, but it's a long par 4, and then the 5th I think is a par 3 in that back corner.
Hold on, let's see. 1 goes out straight, 2 goes back. You go so that 2 comes like
on the other side of the.
Yep, on the other side of the range.
3 back over.
3 is that 90-degree dog leg.
Yeah.
4 is a straight par 4.
Yeah.
5 is a par 3 down the hill.
Exactly. So I caught back up with them.
Never played the course.
And it's in the back corner.
I love that course. I mean, I used to play it. I played it a lot last year with BJ.
Oh, really?
Yeah, BJ Rag 1.
Yep.
Or Ragone.
Ragone?
Rag 1. I'm like,
Robert
what is
Ragone?
I'm like, what is your last name, bro? Is it Rag 1? Are you like Joey Fatone?
Yeah.
Joey Fat 1? So, some of the best scores that I've had, I've played there. I actually played in the Suburban Council tournament for my senior year at Colony High. Was at Stadium, and I shot a 90.
Yeah.
Which at the time for me was pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I really sucked in high school. And it's funny because now I see kids. The kid this year that won the Suburban Council tournament, I think he was from Saratoga. I think he shot like a 6 under.
Okay.
And nice. I was like, F that kid. Because like my best score is an 83.
Yeah.
Which I just shot a couple of weeks ago. So, but for me, a 90-40, I went 45-45, so I was pretty happy with that. And it's funny to see these kids nowadays that play golf, and I'm like, you got to understand, man. Like, when I was playing in school,
yeah, I've been changing the wrong mic this whole time.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why I'm overmodulated at times. And
there we go.
Do you know how to work your own equipment? Okay.
I could have sworn we just plugged you into this guy. Oh, we switched
the mics, yeah. But what a lot of people don't realize is, like, when I was playing high school golf, you got to realize, like, Tiger Woods was the guy that really made golf what it is today.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I don't think there's any real debate on that, but I'm the same age as Tiger Woods.
Wow, that's crazy.
I think he's 45.
Okay.
Like, and I'm 44, so I'm like, golf was not the golf now. When I was playing high school, like, we had the football team would make fun of us, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but, like, if you want to keep getting mouthy, I have weapons that I swing really hard.
Yeah.
And I know where the pads aren't.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a dick, I'm going to hit you with a club. How about that? So that's, and we had a couple of kids that were very good. One of my friends, Chris, went to Siena, actually played for his tour card. So, and I met up with him a few years back. I hadn't seen him since high school.
Yeah.
I meet up with him, and he goes, yeah, we'll go out and play. So I was like, all right. Now I'm thinking, like, I've got my game better. Still not on Chris's level. Chris, literally, we were just drinking a couple of beers, hanging out, playing golf. And I'm like, what'd you shoot? And he's like, I had a 36. I was like, yo, you messed around and shot par? I'm like, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, really? So, aren't we supposed to talk about beer? And like,
We are actually
where
pulling up some information on beer as we speak.
What are we drinking? What is this?
This is
IPA?
Sloop Juice Bomb.
Juice
Sloop
bomb.
Juice Bomb.
Oh, no, dude. That literally the IPA that got me into drinking IPAs
Oh, is
is
this
the
one?
Juice Bomb.
Wow.
Yep.
A lot of times, for a lot of people, it's like we have a couple local, like not semi-local, like what am I thinking? My brain is broken right now. It's all those drinks and shots I was doing earlier.
That's a problem.
It is.
Don't worry, man. I got this. Let me figure out what you're trying to say.
No, like the Alchemist had a beer called Heady Topper.
Yeah.
Sip of Sunshine. Those kind of beers really kind of pull people in. And you're right. Juice Bomb was kind of blown up a little bit as of late, and not as of late, but in the last few years.
Yeah.
And it's really it's pulled a bunch of new IPA drinkers into the craft brew force.
It's because it is not your typical IPA.
Yeah.
It is not a very hoppy beer. It's Juice Bomb. It's juicy. It's a nice citrusy taste. I started drinking it. My buddy Derek, who is one of my good friends, we're part of my Danstad crew that we have, and he is what I guess you would consider a beer snob. You know, he will only drink IPAs. He's like, I'm not drinking Stella. I'm not drinking Heine. That sounds funny, by the way. I've never said that sentence before. And I'm not drinking Heine.
Say, can I have a Heine?
I tried that. I usually get slapped, especially because I don't know the person I'm saying it to. But no, he doesn't drink Heinekens. He will not drink. We drank Coors Light as a group once, which was in remembrance of my buddy Danny, who passed away.
Yes, I meant Dan.
And Danny was, that's all he drank, because he never was a quality drinker. He just was a quantity.
Yes.
And he would drink like 27 Coors Lights at a dance competition in a day. And I'm like, dude, good luck tomorrow, bro. But he was there 7 o'clock in the morning. Did you ever meet Dan?
I did, yes.
You did?
Yep. Met him through Rob Dawes.
Okay, yeah.
He used to go to a lot of events with Q103.
Yes. No, Danny was... Dude, I guarantee if you have people that listen in this area, somebody is listening right now that knows the name Dan Bruno.
Yeah.
He had it to see, not to bring the mood down, but like to see his wake, and they had over 1,500 people come to his wake.
I believe it.
And it was like, and then the next day was his funeral, and they filled the church. It was intense.
Yeah.
We had 3 sets of pallbearers for his funeral, which I was actually honored to be asked. So it was, but I did have to wear a Red Sox hat. So, and it was, you know, we all the pallbearers, it was either a Steelers hat or a Red Sox hat.
I would have wore a Steelers hat.
Because I wanted to, and they gave us the choice. I was one of the few people that texted back to this group text, I want a Red Sox hat. And they were like, really? Why? And I'm like, you don't get it. Like, a lot of people were like, it doesn't matter to me. Either one is fine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I understand that we're a group of mostly Yankee fans. But I'm like, I have a Yankee tattoo on my arm. I have bled for the Yankees. Wearing a Steeler hat is really not much of a tribute for me to do for someone, because I'm a Cowboy fan and I don't give a damn about the Steelers. So I'm like, it means more for me as a to pay honor to Danny to wear a Red Sox hat. So we had the Red Sox hat, DSB embroidered in like the Boston the Boston font on the side.
Awesome.
That was a day. That was a shitty. Anyway, how are you?
I'm doing great. No, I've met him. I met him a bunch of times. He's a good dude. Unfortunately, he passed away way too young. I believe it was a heart attack.
Yeah, 45 cardiac arrest. Yeah, or heart attack. That was such a shit show. I couldn't. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Because at this point, like, I want to have fun on your podcast. And I don't. And then listen, I love Danny.
Well, we can remember the good things about Dan.
It was. Dude,
he was funny.
He was nuts.
He was always kind and nice.
I wrote a blog for him, like within the 5-day period that he had passed, and I mean, it was one of the most successful posts I ever put. And everyone that I've spoken to or like commented on Facebook and stuff, it was literally to know Danny was to love Danny.
Yeah.
And anyway,
well, cheers to Dan.
Absolutely. Back to the juice bomb, which is delicious. By the way,
it is good.
And it's like a, what is it, 7.5%?
I will try to tell you right now. It is 6.5%.
Man, I was way off.
It's not bad.
6, but that's the thing. This is the beer that brings. What is it? What was the word I'm looking for?
This is the beer that brings.
If you're drinking like like a Miller Lite or a Bud Heavy or.
Are you thinking about Boom Sauce, by the way? Boom Sauce is a pretty...
No, I'm saying this is like...
Actually, it is
if you drink domestic, you drink domestic, and you're not an IPA guy, you start drinking juice bombs, and next thing you know, you're like, all right, I like this. And now you're trying the other shit that's out there.
Next thing you know, you're wearing skinny jeans and
you got a beard. It's weird. you got this real big bushy beard.
Like, look, brah, we're going to go and buy some craft beers.
All of a sudden, you look like you belong in Seattle.
Yes.
You got on a Scully. It's fucking June. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
wearing sunglasses at night.
Speaking of hipsters, do you remember when we filmed when we did the video at Professor Java's?
We did. I do.
And we walked in. Now, for those of you that don't know, Professor Java's is a coffee house in Colony.
They actually roast their own coffee there.
They do.
Their own beans.
They've moved.
They did, yes.
They moved to Wolf Road Plaza.
Yes.
The original place is notoriously haunted.
Yes.
Which is why we were there.
Exactly.
But we walked in, and there was a gentleman sitting there drinking his coffee with his laptop out who had a beard and a flannel shirt on and skinny jeans. And I remember telling you, Katie, and Michelle, I was like, man, if that is not the stereotypical coffee house dude just sitting right there. I was like, I wonder if he's paid to sit there. Like, you belong here.
Yeah. He's part of the ambiance. That guy's feeling good. Dancing.
He is? Yeah. I like that.
So Juice Bomb is a New England-style IPA. I was looking, hopefully, for something that would tell us what kind of hops it uses. For me, my taste buds are shot right now after drinking earlier.
Okay.
Doing shots. So
that'll do it.
Yeah.
Listen, if you have some beer drinkers that listen to this podcast, they know what a juice bomb is.
They know exactly what it tastes like.
Yeah, it's the one thing I did find out. I actually did a station event one time last summer. We had done the truly summer beach house we were doing, where we had a beach house I broadcast every night, and I had to go from location to location. Or not location to location, but I had to do a specific amount of appearances at, like, I did one at the one on Colvin Ave.
Yep.
The Brew Crew. Which, by the way, got cut short because we had a thunderstorm and we lost power.
Oh, no.
It was awesome. And the guy's like, are you still working? I was like, technically, yeah, but no. And he goes, come on over here. They got a little, like, because they fill crowlers and growlers there.
Oh, awesome.
So he's like, here, try this. You drink IPAs? I was like, I've started.
Yeah.
So, but I was up at one in Wilton, or somewhere just outside of Saratoga, and we happened to be there the day that they were having like a sampling, which I didn't know was a thing at a beverage center.
It's called a flight.
No, this was like they had like
they sold.
They
cans.
had vendors there. Okay, so you were like, so they were set up inside. It was a big square.
Okay.
And they had breweries there was one guy from Binghamton.
Okay.
Who had a pretty decent beer. I don't remember what it was because it was a while ago. But he asked me, what I drank and stuff. And I was like, I just started drinking juice bombs. And he goes, funny story about that is when the New England IPA scene was really starting to take off and people were making
these hazy
citrusy IPAs, all the brewers called it juice bombs.
Yeah.
Because they're juicy.
Yeah.
And what Sloop ended up doing, this is the story according to him, Sloop was like, well, what the hell? They capitalized on that.
Yeah.
And all these other brewers were pissed, not because Sloop did it, because they didn't think of it. It's like we all got upset because that's what we were calling them, and we were just pissed that we didn't think to
call the beer juice bomb
and to put it out there so that it's like they basically capitalized on what the brewers in New England were already calling these citrusy, juicy.
Well, Sloop Brewing thought to do it, and now we've got their juice bomb.
Yeah.
Which is good. I like it. It's and it is. It's more of a citrusy than it is a piney IPA.
Yeah.
It's not overly bitter. It's not too sharp. So it's good.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not really a fan of the piney.
Okay.
Like the real hoppy type tasting. I know you. Yeah, I know you did an episode with my buddies over at Fidens.
They make a lot of IPAs over there.
They do, but
they're delicious. They're good.
The Necessary Means and the Jasper.
Yep.
Like we lived on those because I was telling you that brewery is actually right up the road from where my daughter used to dance. She no longer dances there because for personal reasons. Just not good people. Let's put it that way. Anyway, but that was our hangout.
Yeah.
And now my boys still go because they're doing the drive-through thing and stuff. So it's like, yo, what do you guys? Anybody around? And I go hang out at the studio, not inside. I hang out in the parking lot. And they all got crowlers and stuff. And we're just kind of pouring. We're hanging out in the parking lot drinking beers. I'm like, this is amazing that we're still hanging outside somewhere, like hiding the fact that we're drinking. We're all in our 40s or late 30s. Like, this is stupid.
Yeah. I'm a grown-ass man.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have to hide this shit. But then again, you kind of do have to hide that because, open container and, you're drinking in a parking lot that's not outside a football stadium.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is.
Yeah, I had a good time when we were there. We met with Mike and Tim and Alan, and the head brewer's name is escaping me right now, but all good people. All great people.
I got another brewery that my buddy Steve Brote from Northeast Paranormal Society is involved with.
Oh, cool.
I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but he's got it's a weird name, but we'll have to get you up there too.
For sure. Jess, myself. Wait, you see, it's not Argyle, is it?
No.
There's is it in Argyle?
I don't know where the hell it is.
Okay.
Keep
but
talking.
Jess,
I'll use the Google machine to figure it out.
So Jess, myself, and Terry O'Donnell went and hung out with Steve for the day.
By the way, I like the fact that when we reference Terry,
it's Terry O'Donnell.
It's full name.
It's funny. People, when they say my name, they say my full name.
Nick Lee.
Yeah. It's just one of those names you got to say.
You know how confused I got with you and Mick Lee?
So did Rumors for Men. I was getting free haircuts. They're just like, oh, sorry, we didn't mean it. We forgot. We're not supposed to be charging you. Here's your money back. I'm like, thank you very much.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yes, I am Mick.
Well, I thought they were like, you're Nick Lee, but what they were saying is Mick Lee. And when I would go there and say, hey, I'm Nick Lee, they were like, no, that's like so.
Right.
I never met the guy.
It's Slick Fin Brewing.
Slick Fin. Where's it? Sounds familiar. I think we were supposed to go there last weekend, but they were closed.
Let's see. Marine Corps veteran-owned and operated microbrewery. Our passion is to create artisanal craft brew. Doesn't say where it is. Sorry.
What if you scroll to the bottom?
That was the whole about. It ended there. Page created 2126. 2126. No, 2020. Not whatever. I can't figure it out.
Brewing. They're in Fort Edward.
Okay. Which makes sense because Steve is from Glens Falls.
Yeah.
So
Fort Edward, Argyle. That's all I'm saying.
Steve's another one. We got to do some ghost hunting with him.
For sure. Well, that's what I was about to tell you. We went to the homestead, and we did the tour up there.
You went during the day, right?
Yes.
How was it?
It was fine.
Yeah, but you're like a half-ass believer, right?
Half-ass believer.
You are. You're like, you look at it very logically.
I do, but I don't get scared or...
Dude, did you watch the episode of Destination Fear?
Yeah.
That freaked me out.
Yeah.
The shadow figure that they caught.
That's the only thing I seen on there that was interesting. And as a videographer myself, cinematographer, I'm just trying to figure out what it was. Obviously, there was some kind of night vision, and the only thing I could think is that there was a break in that infrared lighting that caused that. But I watched it a couple times, and it's tough because they zoom in on it so you can see the figure a little bit better. And I would try to replicate it, but it's something I would have to do myself, knowing just set up a camera that's not being touched for that to happen, and then have another camera pointed at that camera to see if anything passes in front of it, because it doesn't pass in front of the lens.
Right.
It just looks like it's a shadow on the night vision infrared light.
Well, and it looked like it walked across the hallway.
It did. It was very steady going across. So you would think if something fell in front of it, it would go
right.
East and west, north and south, not east and west.
Right. Yeah, it was when I watched that. I'm more of a believer than you are anyway, which is also why I got involved with Katie and Michelle and the stuff that we did, and then doing the Psychic on the Scene podcast. Which, by the way, if you're listening and you have a believer, Psychic on the Scene podcast is
for sure
is good to check out.
And you also have another podcast.
Yeah, Inside the Mind of D. Scott.
There you go.
It's not as interesting as the Psychic on the Scene one.
You don't think so?
No.
All right.
No. Some of the episodes are, but some of my episodes are literally like me rambling.
Yep.
Dude, you know how hard it is by yourself to fill 15 minutes?
Yeah.
It sucks. The one day, the first one I did solo, I spewed out all this stuff, right? And I was like, whew. And I looked over at the software that's recording it, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? 3.5 minutes? That's it. It's like, you gotta be kidding. I was like, I want to go at least, because with guests, my episodes will go up to 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But without a guest, you're lucky that you're getting 15 minutes out of me. I've done a few that are a half hour.
Yeah.
Because I listen to Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Which is just him.
Was it Monday Morning Quarterbacking?
Monday Morning Podcast.
Well, that's what I don't know where I got the quarterbacking from. Bill Burr is one of my favorite comedians, though.
He's awesome. He is great. But see, for him, and I understand, now, he's having a hard time, finding stuff to talk about because it's, we're not really doing it. He lives in California. He's doing shows again.
Yep.
But they're in, parking lots and what have you. So he's searching for a half hour to fill.
Yeah.
But he can do it. And I'm like, I get, but you're a stand-up comic. You're a well-established stand-up comic. I talk on the radio, man.
Yeah.
I specialize in 30-second breaks.
Yeah.
It's
not standing up on stage for 2 hours.
Right. Or doing 90 minutes, an hour, or whatever it is. But Burr's podcast, I listen to Joe too, but
yeah, for sure.
Joe doesn't need any more recognition. He's already got one of the biggest podcasts in the world.
The biggest. I like to put his podcast on. I'll listen to it for days because I'll drive to work, listen for 20 minutes.
That's how long it takes to get through an episode.
Yeah.
He recently, who the hell did he have on that I was listening to? He had Kanye on.
Yeah.
Did you listen to that?
I did listen to that one.
I was thrown off, I guess.
He was all over the place.
He was. But I like the way Joe approached.
Yeah, for sure.
How Kanye's mind works.
Yeah.
Because at one point, Joe was like, who convinced you to get on medication?
Yeah.
Who convinced you that you're crazy?
Yeah.
And
it's because they tried putting Joe on medication.
Did they really?
I think they tried putting him on some kind of Adderall or something.
And yeah, but Joe was just like, no, I smoke weed.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And then he discovered smoking weed.
Right.
He was just like, I don't need medication.
But I like the way that he said, talking with Kanye, who is all over the place, but I don't think he's crazy. I think, what Joe said was, your mind works so fast, which is why you're kind of all over the place when you talk, because he is such a creative individual that his mind is constantly bouncing ideas around, which is why when you ask him, what kind of shoes do you have on? It's you might not get an answer as to the fact that I'm wearing my Yeezy whatevers. You know what I mean?
You have to piece it, but you might get also a little bit about Jesus, a little bit about music, about a workout routine,
the way the music industry is holding people down and stuff. And this was, I think, he did the episode just prior to the election.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Kanye got 60,000 votes nationwide. 60,000 votes.
Yeah.
And he barely campaigned.
Yeah, and he was mostly write-in except for a couple states.
Yeah. So I think he said he's going to run in 2024. But if you can give him the time to put together a campaign,
maybe he'll get 100,000 this time.
Maybe. Or maybe he'll just make a dent in something or make somebody, you know what I mean? But he didn't really have a chance to really campaign because He announced it, and then everyone's like, hey, everybody stay in your house and do nothing.
He announced it, then he pulled back from it, and then he went and did it again. So he pulled a Ross Perot on that one.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Sorry, that was a Dana Carvey bit from ages ago. Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Which, by the way, this not to get political, because I don't want to, but this election may never be over.
May never.
Never. I went on the air on the Wednesday after Election Day. And the first break I did on the radio was me conceding the election.
There you go.
I was like, I did not
I
win.
promise you, I didn't. I am backing down from my bid on the presidency.
I literally said something like, I just wanted everyone to know that I didn't say it in this really cool bedroom voice, but I was like, I concede my bid for president of the United States. I was like, I did not win, but ironically, nobody else has yet either.
No.
Like, that was my thing. So
that's crazy. I guess there's been other elections that I think one went 45 days.
2000 went
exactly
to the end of the year type thing. It was, and that was just one state that was in question.
Yeah.
That was just Florida. And Al Gore was like, hold on, slow your roll.
Yeah.
I don't think Florida did it right. And I'm like, Florida never does anything right. Have you been there? I love it down. I love the state.
Maybe they do everything right and everybody else is doing everything wrong.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe.
I doubt it. I don't. Have you ever been to Florida?
It's the home of my favorite superhero. The Florida Man.
Hang on, I got to Google that shit. What? The Florida Man? Hey, Siri. Thanks for ignoring me. Siri's a typical woman. I ask her I would say, hey, Siri. She just doesn't say shit back.
No.
Hey, Siri. Look up the Florida Man.
Tell me the first thing that pops up when you look up the Florida Man.
Florida Man is...
In which the phrase Florida Man is taken from various unrelated news articles describing people who hail from or live in Florida. Should I keep going?
No, we're good, thanks. So it's an internet meme.
Yes.
Okay. Were you aware of that? Or
yes.
Did you? Okay.
It's a joke. The Florida Man. Because every time you see something, Florida Man ate an alligator today.
Oh, okay.
While being attacked by an alligator.
Sometimes I don't know how to take you. Like, did you really know that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Florida. Would you be? Listen, there was a reason why Cops was always filmed in Orange
Florida.
County.
Yeah.
Always.
Or Dade County.
Yeah. That's what it was. It was always Dade County.
Yeah.
Some in Orange, but it's like, who knew? What are you looking for?
Beer.
Okay.
I can go left, I can go right.
What is the stout that we're drinking?
It's not a stout.
It's not a stout?
It's an amber, I believe it's an amber ale. It's Fat Tire from New Belgium.
It is Fat Tire.
It is Fat Tire.
It tastes like a stout. Have you tried it?
Yeah.
It tastes like a lighter version of Guinness.
Fat Tire is an amber ale. It visually is clear with amber and bright with white lacing.
Hey, man, I don't know what clear is to that description.
I know.
But I can't see through that.
Neither can I. Maybe it's the cup. I can't see the cup either. Like, you just finished like a juice bomb. That's not a clear cup.
No, it's like hazy. It's a little. It's
supposed to have toasty malts, gentle sweetness, and a flash of fresh hoppy bitterness.
All right. See, like, when you say that to me, it makes sense because and I can taste that. But like, if you were to ask me to describe what that beer tastes like, but like a dark beer.
I'm really impressed with New Belgium's website. They tell us the hops that are in it, the alcohol content at 5.2%.
So what you're telling me is Sloop needs to step up their website.
Yeah. I don't normally read from a website. That's the first time. Again, I drank earlier today. I'm kind of half lazy with this.
Nick doesn't really read.
But it does have a tasty English style toasty malt to it, so it's good.
Which I mean, as I'm not really a tuned palate beer drinker.
Mm-hmm. Neither am I. Neither is Dave.
Which is, you guys really don't seem that way, but that's fine.
That's why we bring professionals on.
It's a good thing you guys do a podcast about beer.
Yeah, it's what's brewing in the 518. It's not all about beer. We talk about sports. We talk about everything. Anything, movies.
We haven't really talked about beer much here at all.
We still talked about beer. We talk about beer. What's your favorite beer?
What's my favorite beer?
Favorite beer. What was your first beer?
My first beer?
Answer
St.
the first
Pauli
question
Girl.
first. Oh, there you go. Stole it from your dad.
You're damn right I did. Yo, let me tell you something. You want to talk about I think I took my first sip of beer at like 17 or 18. That's not true. That's bullshit. I was like
13
6.
or 14.
I was like 6.
Oh, yeah, first sip of beer for sure.
First sip, because I grew up in that era where my grandfather drank Jenny Splits.
Yeah.
And, Dennis, go get me a beer. Oh, yeah, that's my real name. D is not my actual name. Dennis Scott, go get me a beer. So I go in there and get him a, Jenny Split. You want to take a sip? All right. Oh, God. Jesus Christ. I was 6. Yeah. I'm like, this is fucking terrible. So that was my first taste of beer. I don't think I started, like, drinking until I was, like, 17. I was out of high school. Like, I didn't drink in high school. I was one of those good kids. But we were athletic. Like, we were just busy playing sports. Not to say that my friends that were also athletes weren't partaking in extracurricular. I just didn't.
Yeah.
And it was like, what do we have here? My buddy Mark had come over. We had like, there was Rolling Rock, St. Pauli Girl, and probably a couple of Coors Lights, right? And we get to the same. You all right?
Yeah, I just got a shooting pain in my arm.
Oh, it's on your right side, so we're good. We don't have to call 911.
It was a chair. Somehow, I don't know, it just cramped up.
I'm like, oh shit, no, we got to call 911. So. Really, the first taste as I'm older, and this is what we're gonna do, is the skunkiest beer you could possibly drink.
Yeah,
like St. Pauli Girl blows Heineken out of the water as far as skunk. And I'm like, this shit.
It's got like a aluminum foil on the cap too, which adds to it for some reason. The skunkiness.
It was awful, awful. But
it's not that bad.
Huh?
Now, when I drink it, I can drink it. It's fine.
I think now, which I haven't revisited a St. Pauli Girl, but I think now is, because now I drink Heineken, no problem. Like, that was my go-to when I was 21 hitting the clubs. We were drinking Heinekens. And because it was a little bit more expensive. We wanted to look like we were ballers when we were out. So they're drinking a Heineken. And I'm like, why are you looking at me? No, I don't want to drink the Hennessy from behind the... I'll buy a bottle of Hennessy and drink that, but... I'm not trying to pay $15 for an ounce of Hennessy. Like, let's do shots of Henny. I'm like, I can pay $65, get a full bottle of it, and drink that shit all night long. My Henny go-to was a rocks glass, 3 ice cubes, a slice of lemon, and Hennessy.
There you go.
Henny in the freezer.
I drank whiskey.
Like forever?
Yeah, like Jameson.
You just drank... Have you had the Caskmates? Caskmates?
No,
Jameson?
Dave and I will do a shot of Jameson at the end of an episode.
Okay.
To kind of celebrate the end of that episode.
And which is ironic because everyone that listens is like, thank God that shit's over.
Hopefully not. I mean, but anyway, it's we do. So when I was growing up and started drinking, we were talking about this today. Like, the only shots I used to do back in the day were like, if there was a girl involved, it was SoCo and lime. Mm-hmm. If it was just me and the guys, we'd drink 151 or like...
God bless you.
I know. Or like Jameson or, Jack Daniels or...
Jameson is used in the green tea shot. Have you ever had a green tea shot?
Yes.
They're delicious.
They are.
They are really good.
I only had it 2 or 3 times, but...
I used to get them at Savannah's.
Okay.
When that was open.
The Schaefer's.
Yes. Joe's a great dude.
Great people. Yeah,
but
him and his brother.
Nick Papagiorgio was the DJ.
Yeah.
Chelsea was bartending.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I was married at the time to my second wife.
Mm-hmm. Jeez, you were married twice?
I got 2.
Awesome. Good for you.
I got 2. I have 2 daughters.
Never been married.
2 baby mamas.
I have no kids that I know of.
Okay. So I have 2 kids that I'm aware of. That I'm a part of their life.
So I significantly, even though I was just unemployed for the longest time, probably have more money.
I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I work and shit, and it's like, Daddy, listen, this is what my kids want for Christmas. My 17-year-old wants a MacBook Pro.
Yep.
And my 13-year-old wants the new iPhone 12 Max.
And you pointed out that you do have 2 ex-wives.
I do. My oldest is with my first wife, which makes a lot of sense, because then my youngest would be with my second one.
Yeah, it'd be weird if your oldest
it went the other way around.
Second wife.
Yeah, if it went the other way around.
Your youngest was with your first wife.
It's a lot harder to explain, let me tell you.
It's like that Mitch Hedberg joke. He's like, hey, man, you want to see a picture of me when I was younger? He's like, every picture of you is when you're younger, unless you have the ability to go in time.
Yo, I didn't know that he had passed away.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think he OD'd.
Yep.
But I watch his stuff all the time. He's
my top 3, if not my number 1. He's in my top 3 favorite comedians.
Really? He was one of the most unpolished comedians I'd ever watched. I loved his stuff. I liked his because he had that very Stephen Wright approach.
I was going to say there's only two comedians that have that style. Mm-hmm. You have monotone Stephen Wright, and you have high as hell. Mitch Hedberg.
He was great, and then I started doing some research on him, and I was like, wait a minute, what the? He's dead.
He's dead.
Which I had no idea of that, but so yeah, my kids want technology for Christmas.
Yes. Expensive technology. But my oldest was like, but if you want to just get me the MacBook Pro, that's all you got to get me. Yeah, only.
And I'm like, well, here's what's that?
This car just went. Is this a parking lot or is that a road? Because some car just went flying down this.
Right here is an alley.
Oh, okay. I was like, hot damn. That dude was doing like 70.
I was like, okay, so we're gonna move the table.
Yeah.
So just in case.
If you see me get up and run, you do the same.
Yes. I'll forget about the headphones. I'll get yanked backwards.
Go.
My oldest did say to me, she goes, Bo, I've kind of done the math on what you normally get us for Christmas, and you spend about that on us anyway. I was like, yeah, I know.
And the
but
two of you?
No. Each.
Okay.
And I do a fairly decent job of trying to be even with what they get. But I was like, yeah, but you understand that it's like a $200 gift card to Pink and a $200 gift card to Aeropostale and $175 to Garage and like all these different. So I break it up. I'm like, I don't just get you because I feel awful if my kids are only opening one present each.
Oh yeah.
At my house for Christmas.
Sure.
You know, it's like. But at the same time, they are older and understand. So we're not. The ruse of Santa is not a thing. Like, well, the cool thing is, though, is both of them now are part of the quote-unquote what we call the Christmas magic.
Yeah.
Because they have younger siblings.
Oh, okay.
So my oldest has to be part of the magic with her brother.
Yeah.
And my youngest has to be part of the magic with her sister.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so when we were explaining to them what really goes on with the quote-unquote magic of Christmas and Santa Claus. Topo Gigio. Sorry, I just turned into Steve Allen there for a minute. Or Tim Allen, my bad. Steve Allen's the host of Chopped. Anyway, Steve Allen is the host of Chopped.
Okay.
Fuck it, I don't remember what I was saying. Next topic.
All right, so you, what I was going to say is that I just recently bought a MacBook Pro, and it's like almost $3,000.
Okay. Yeah, my youngest sent us. We have a group text, and
I mean, you have different versions of them. But the one I bought,
my youngest was like, "Look, Daddy, they're on sale for only $999." And my oldest goes, "Unless you have $999, I don't think you should tell Daddy that it's only $999."
Yeah, I think like the entry level is like $1,200.
Awesome.
Yeah,
we're gonna take advantage of those Black Friday deals.
Though they do have the MacBook Pro Air or the MacBook Air Pro or something. I don't know.
He plays basketball?
I don't know. It doesn't have any ports.
That sounds like a stupid computer. Is what that is? It sounds like my iPhone.
You wouldn't be able to take this out and plug it in.
Right.
Because it maybe has one. I don't know. I don't
remember. Something. I mean, it's got to have somewhere to charge it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right.
I know.
Because that's how I charge mine. One of the ports. That's not good.
There's that. And listen, I had already referenced the lightweightness that I do have, so as we continue on here, this is going to get a lot more entertaining. Trust me.
Worse with names.
You are not good with names.
No, I'm great with faces. Horrible with names.
Horrible with names. You're horrible at ad-libbing, too. I'm just saying. Which is weird, because I know you have a radio background, and that's really all we do is ad-lib.
Yeah, it's funny. When the mic is on, no problem.
Right.
When it's a camera, I mess up all over the place. That's not true, because we were talking about that place off. I can't remember the name of the restaurant off the Circle, but it used to be the Ale House, and I used to have a live read with them, and I have to say Latham Traffic Circle. That was the most impossible thing to say.
I know what we were talking about. I was confused with there used to be a brew pub in Latham Circle Mall.
That's awesome.
Something Creek or something to that. Not because it was Bugaboo Creek, which used to be in Crossgates.
I actually like that place.
I love that place.
It was good.
It was.
The garlic smashed potatoes were
Dude, they're smashed.
awesome.
Dude, the moose juice
Yeah.
was literally just vodka with pineapple in it. And my first wife actually used to work there.
Yeah.
And she told me straight up, she was like, we won't serve anyone over 3 of these. Like, you can only drink 3 of them because it's just vodka.
Straight vodka.
Pineapple and vodka.
Hot damn. I'm pretty sure one of those would get you pretty messed up.
Dude, I was just like, I don't give a shit about the vodka in there. I want to eat that pineapple that's been stewing forever, just sitting in that vodka.
And if you're a listener of this podcast, you know that that pineapple is one of my favorite nighttime snacks, and that I'm allergic to it.
You're alert. We went through this like shortly after, because you had to get your allergy test and shit, and you had whatever. I used to make fun of you because it sounded like you had some sort of Chinese disease.
Hashimoto.
Yeah.
It's not an allergy. Oh, it wasn't an allergy test. What I did was a elimination diet. So I eliminated everything off of my diet, and then I slowly introduced stuff back in to see what would give me different reactions. But I knew about pineapple because when I was younger, I loved pineapple just like I like it now. And I used to sit down and just like eat it and eat it and eat it. And then all of a sudden, my mouth would start to sting, and then my throat would start to swell. And, it was bad.
Are you like full out allergic, like EpiPen allergic, or
no? I don't think EpiPen will help. There's a bromine, I forget. I'm sure I say it wrong, but it's a chemical that's actually an antihistamine.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's an anti-allergy thing.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, I'm actually allergic to it. So it's like eating straight acid. So it's not like an allergic reaction where like I'm swelling up because of there's an allergic reaction. It's an allergic reaction in a way that it actually eats away at like the lining of my throat.
Are you allergic to antihistamines?
No,
that's what I thought you just said.
That one.
Just that one, because it's like you can't take Benadryl.
I think I can.
Or like Zyrtec.
For sure I can.
You can.
Yeah.
Because I have to. Huh?
Claritin.
I thought you said Madden.
No, it's Madden. I'll take 2 Maddens in a pill,
like
please.
The video game? What the?
And then he said, boom.
It's funny. I was talking earlier. I had a meeting with someone earlier today about a future business venture, and she has a cat, a dog, and a rabbit, and I'm allergic to all that shit.
Yeah,
right.
I'm allergic to cats.
I'm allergic to the 4 cats and dog that I own.
That's crazy.
But I take Benadryl.
Yeah.
And
I take Claritin.
See, so she was like, I have like the knockoff version of Zyrtec. Do you want to try that? And I couldn't remember. I had taken Claritin at one point in my life and almost instantaneously had a headache in the right side of my head.
That's crazy.
Like hardcore.
Yeah.
Like shooting migraine pain.
Oh, no.
Close my eyes. Like, shit.
Face droopy.
Yeah, it was like, oh, shit, Dennis is having a stroke.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we're good. I don't smell burnt toast. We're fine.
Just feels like I got hit in the side of the head with a hammer.
Yeah. What?
I don't know. I hiccuped on hammer.
I smell onions.
I think that's a sign of stroke, too.
Oh, is that what it is? No, I got an onion in my pocket. Look at that. My prop dads are blowing up our friggin' group chat.
Why? What are you building?
We're not building anything. Which is funny because I was saying how my daughter doesn't dance where she used to anymore. And the difference between the moms and the dads, like the moms that had left our old studio to go to this new one that my youngest daughter's aunt and uncle opened.
Yep.
The moms are kind of like weird about it, with the moms that stayed at the old studio and whatever, and the dads are all still nobody cared. Like, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I've told them, I'm like, our friendship and our brotherhood was formed because of where our kids danced.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the reason we were all friends.
No.
So we all still hang out and drink,
for sure.
or get together.
If you don't like somebody, you don't like somebody.
Right. So I'm like, I don't care where my daughter's dancing or what's going on. Like, I will come. That's like I said. I go to the parking lot to the other old studio.
Yeah.
Don't care who sees me there. And I'm like, I'm in the parking lot. I'm not inside. You guys can't tell me where to go.
Yeah.
And I live around the corner. And I'm hanging out with my friends. We're friends before we're dance dads.
Yeah.
Well, we were dance dads first, but then we became friends, and it grew past that. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's brother in arms.
Yeah, I think it's a dude thing, too.
Yeah.
Like, the moms are just kind of whatever.
I know that Rob enjoyed it while he was doing it.
When he got involved in selling cars, it became a lot more difficult for him because he's working 7 days a
You're all
week.
the time.
Yeah, and he does very, very well considering he's like the top seller at his dealership.
Yes.
So
He's a
good
very
for
good
him.
salesperson.
Yeah, he's a radio background. That's why, dude. We can talk about like I've had people say to me, "Why don't you?" They wanted me to get involved in radio sales, and I'm like, "No, I'm not doing that."
Yeah.
And I talked to a general manager at one of the car dealerships that I know that I used to go to, and he was like, "Dude, I got to tell you," he's like, "If you're thinking about it and you don't love this business, don't do it."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Because you can make really good money doing it, but it consumes your life."
Yeah.
And I was
It
like,
does.
"I'm like, oh,
It's
radio,
a grind. Everything you do is a deal.
radio consumes my life. I just can't make a fortune doing it." So
I'll tell you right now, if Rob's not at the dealership, he's probably on his phone looking at emails, texting a customer,
yep.
texting another dealership or calling another dealership to try to locate a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It is a grind.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing too, is you got to out hustle those other 12 dudes that are, or 12 people,
Sometimes more.
that are trying, and that's another reason why sales for radio never seemed like a thing for me, because I'm like, you got dudes that I know that I work with that have been selling in this market for 25 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna fight for the scraps with the other low people on the totem pole.
Yeah, the new businesses that are
trying to
opening up
find
that
have no budget.
Yeah.
They don't have an advertising budget. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that, because I at least know I get a paycheck working hourly.
So, like, just to put it in a perspective, if you want to take a look at, or think about, like, what my budget is monthly for this podcast is $80.
Oh,
How many spots would that buy me? 10 seconds?
depending on where you go.
Podcast.
No, but you could go, depending on what company you were deciding to advertise with, that could buy you a 30-second pocket, the 30-second spot. But you would have to go kooky. Or compete with kooky. Anyway. I think
ABC?
it's
as
easy
easy
as
as
1, 2, 3. So I think it's great that the Masters is still on the TV here.
Is it? I got Nebraska football.
Well, it's not. It's the it's
Stanford.
the post coverage.
Okay.
But I mean, it was,
There's basketballs bouncing over your head.
as long as it doesn't fall out of the TV and hit me.
So you didn't finish my question. So we know what your first beer was. What's your favorite beer?
Oh, my bad. It's amazing that you remembered that as we went.
I put pins in things mentally, and I go back to them.
We completely
I drive
went off
Dave
that.
nuts by doing that.
So let's see. Favorite beer? I honestly think it would be.
Marijuana.
It's not a beer.
I'm just kidding anyway.
I don't like that shit anymore. It's a lot different than it used to be. Shout out to all the potheads.
It's scary.
It is so intense. Dude, I could hear my hair growing last time I got home.
My high is talking to me.
I was like, I gotta go to bed. I was like, holy shit. Anyway, favorite beer. That's a good question, because I don't know as if I have one.
Yeah. That's fine. You don't have to have one.
No, but
Where's your favorite place to drink beer? My living room watching the game.
yeah. Or in the parking lot hanging with, like,
There? Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
like my favorite place to drink beer is where I am with the dance dads.
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite place to drink beer, because it's so comfortable and they get it, and like I don't like being around a lot of people because of the lightweightness that I have.
Yeah.
I don't really like being around a lot of people drunk like that, because you're gonna see me throw up on my shoes, and I would rather do that with friends.
Yeah.
So, but I would say, I don't have a favorite beer. I don't think.
You don't have to.
Thanks. Because I don't.
I don't even have a favorite beer.
I would say, like, I enjoy Jasper.
I do have a favorite beer.
Okay.
They don't make it anymore. It was Noble Pills by Sam Adams.
What was it?
Noble Pills
Oh.
by Sam Adams.
So it was a hoppy New England beer?
No, it was a Pilsner.
Really?
Believe it or not.
I'm walking on air. Sorry.
The Great American Hero.
The Great American Hero. One of my favorite TV shows ever.
It's funny because we have a cat named Charles, who I'm deathly allergic to. And his name is Charles. So the last couple of days, whenever somebody says his name, I start singing Charles in Charge.
Nice.
Charles in Charge.
That's a great show, man.
Scott Baio.
Scott Baio has lost his goddamn mind, but that's a great show.
According to the girl, he had a relationship with her when she was like well underage.
Joni?
No,
The girl that played-
the Charles in Charge girl.
Oh.
The blonde hair girl. I don't know if it's true, but
I can't think of their names.
it's been said. She said it.
This guy doesn't look like he belongs here.
She used to be on Baywatch. I know. He's here to drop off the mail.
He looks like he's here to play golf.
He's wearing a New York. He's wearing a
The Postal Service sweater.
uniform. He's
Fair
got
enough.
the pants.
Oh, he's not driving a mail truck at the bar.
I'm just here for a shot. I'm in the home stretch.
You know what they tell us about the rain, sleet, snow, hail shit? That's true. I need some whiskey to warm up. Or some brandy.
It's true. It's been done drunk.
Oh, I'm sure.
I will not say what city, town I was in, but I was once at a bar during the middle of a snowstorm, and the plow truck just stopped. Guy jumped out, walked into the bar, took 3 shots of whiskey, got back in the truck, and kept driving.
That is amazing.
He's like 3.
3
Boop,
shots.
boop, boop.
Wow. Good for that guy.
Yep.
Wow. Nice.
True story. That was I almost said the name of the bar. The bar doesn't exist anymore. If I say the name of the bar, will you be able to figure out what town it was? Probably. And you probably figure out who was driving if you think about the year that was closed and who was running that route.
Depending on who the person is. I mean, I probably wouldn't know, but that's different.
It's like that bus driver a couple of weeks ago that stopped at a gas station and bought a 40 or something. Opened up the 40, kept driving the kids.
There was a guy that went to it was a female bus driver.
Yeah.
She went to McDonald's. Stopped at McDonald's, took like 1 or 2 of the kids in with her to get breakfast when she was intoxicated.
Dang.
And
The other one was a female driver too.
oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, because I guess they're all like the buses are tracked now.
Yeah.
So, which makes sense. Like
Transfinder, Schenectady.
GPS is not.
That's
hard
what they
to-
do.
What's that?
They put tracking devices on school buses.
Oh,
If you don't spend a lot of time in Schenectady, there's a beautiful building in Schenectady that says Transfinder right on it.
okay.
It's right across the street from Bombers, and
So it's like right in downtown.
yeah,
Okay.
and that's what they do.
Really?
They put tracking devices on school buses
I
all
do
over
not.
the world.
I do not spend a lot of time in Schenectady.
Yeah, I can see.
But I don't have any call to. I mean,
Well, maybe next time when you actually get to meet Dave, we'll do maybe something at 20 North.
okay.
20 North Broadway. Great, good wings.
Really?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're like always in like they battle between the Ruck, the Ale House, the Rusty Nail, and 20 North Broadway.
All right. So I'll put you on the spot. Best wings in the area.
That's me personally. Oh man,
And I'm not talking the spicy because I know you.
Oh, yeah,
and I
I
know
like
that
spicy.
you love the spicy. I would. You know what I would honestly like to do is get you on with hot ones. Like I don't know. Like nobody would watch the episode because nobody knows who you are. Like you're not
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake
No.
or Guy Fieri.
or Nick Offerman.
Yeah. So, but I would love to see you sit down with him and just be like, I don't know what your problem is. The bomb is not that hot.
Yeah, bro, bring the heat, son.
Yeah. Like, oh, what is this? 450,000 Scoville.
I just grab the bottle, open it up,
You're,
and start chugging
drinking
it.
Yeah, Nick's tolerance for hot is on a different level.
I went to a place up in Warrensburg a couple of weeks ago. I think it's called like George Henry's or something like that. And they had a wing in there, and it's called the Crazy Wing.
Okay.
And so I order it, and the lady's just like, just to let you know, this is really hot. I was like, you can't make it hot enough. And she brought it out. I ate it. But I was actually really surprised at how hot it was.
Really?
It's probably the hottest thing I've had in New York.
See, now the thing is, though, like I've watched some of the stuff that you do. I know that like you and Jess went to Texas,
Yep.
and you were eating like tacos that were like crazy, whatever.
Yeah, Torchy's tacos,
Yeah, like, and I know that you feel it, but you handle it better than most.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like there's 3 levels of heat for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's a nice little warm, like
Yeah.
Like I could barely tell. Like if it was cold, I put it in my mouth, and it almost seems like it was like a hot like food.
Put it in your mouth.
Yeah. Trust me, there's not a lot of other places I want to put it.
That would be weird.
Then there's a level where I'm like, all right, this is hot. Like last night, I went to Bai, which is a new brewery in Cohoes. Actually,
Okay.
really good. The beer is there.
What's it called?
Bai, B-Y-I, or B-Y-E-I.
Bye. Like goodbye.
I could be. I like I said, I had a couple drinks last night. Did I say that? I did.
Just so we're clear, Nick had a few drinks last night.
And this afternoon.
And today. Had
it's
some
not
beers
looking-
and
it's not
shots.
looking
Anyway,
so
at least Jess is here to get you home.
yeah, she's always my DD.
She's on like her 5th beer.
She's supposed to be doing photos.
She is.
Is she?
No, that was a question mark. Sorry. She is, question mark. I didn't realize I had to like verbally say the punctuation.
I need to throw something at her.
She's busy talking to Terry O'Donnell.
All right. Well, I'll text her.
That's a good idea. You should call her. That's good audio. This table over there is looking at us like they just noticed that weird microphones set up.
They're like, wait a second. Those aren't ice cream cones.
What are those two guys doing? What's going on? We're doing traffic reports over here in the corner.
What are those?
Do we have more beer?
What is those phallic things in front of their faces?
I feel like we've had this. You got in trouble at an old employer for us making touching tips jokes.
Yeah, it was worth it.
It was awesome. Those videos were great.
They were really good.
Dude, I've gone back and like looked at some of the videos, like the views.
Yeah. Oh, through the roof.
Dude, I'm like, well, that was stupid to let Nick leave
Yeah,
because we did so well.
we did, and I'm glad that I heard that you're still doing endorsements.
I do.
Good, because I
do.
I fought all the time to make sure you stayed on.
Don't worry, I know the family. So I don't need my salesman. I'll just make a phone call to the daughter.
Well, I was told that Bill was going to give me a call at some point, but I never heard anything.
Oh, William?
We do need more beer.
We do. I'm completely out.
We'll get one more, and then when we're finished with those beers, we will call this podcast done.
Okay. I might need food.
How long was your podcast? 3 beers.
It wasn't that long. It was only 3 beers.
Yeah.
Ooh, Bryson DeChambeau's 3 under. Good for him. He was having a rough first couple of rounds.
Who'd you say your football team was?
My football team, Dallas Cowboys.
Oh boy,
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, but you're a
Giants.
Cowboy fan. Yeah, that's it. Giants.
I am a Knicks fan too.
You're a Knicks fan. Jesus Christ, do you like the Yankees?
I love the Yankees. That's my team.
At least you got one team that doesn't
And
suck.
then the Rangers.
At least you got one team that doesn't suck. I don't pay any attention to hockey at all.
Well, I think as a Giants fan, I made this point to Dave because the Ruck is actually a Bills bar.
Is it really?
20 North Broadway is a Steelers Yankees bar. So
Dave is a Steelers Yankees guy.
yeah, huge Steelers fan. So we had this conversation because they're undefeated.
And they're looking good this year.
They are.
Which is good. I mean,
Are they still undefeated? Did they lose?
Yeah,
last?
no, they won.
Okay,
They won. They're still undefeated.
because we talked last Saturday. We had a podcast.
That makes sense.
But so anyway, we were talking about that, and I said, one of the points I made as a Giants fan, we've been spoiled.
As a Giants fan, you've been spoiled?
Oh yeah, 2
so?
Super Bowls.
Okay.
Like how many winning? When we had the Tom Coughlin era was phenomenal for us. The Eli era.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Listen, how
How many Super Bowls did the Cowboys win during that time?
None.
Yeah.
We haven't won since the early 2000s or the late 90s. Which honestly, I think I was kind of a bandwagon fan when I got into it because the 90s were good to me.
Can you get us 2 Sloop juices?
Juice bombs.
Juice bombs. No, these are fine.
Whatever.
If you want to get a pint, get a pint. That's fine. Get us a pint. Yeah, get us a couple pints.
Juice bombs.
Juice bombs. I keep calling it Sloop. It's Sloop Juice Bombs. Sloop
Sloop
Brewing.
juice.
Sloop Juice.
I want some Sloop juice. I'm like, I don't even know what the hell that means.
It sounds dirty.
In the 90s, when I was in high school,
Yeah. You have a few Super Bowls there.
I was so spoiled. I'm a Yankees, Bulls, and Cowboy fan.
So, 96?
Dude, all we did was win.
Yeah.
Every sports season was phenomenal for me.
How's it feel to be a front runner?
But I wasn't. See, the thing was, I was a Jordan fan before the Bulls.
Yeah.
Before he had crossed the threshold, beat the Pistons,
Yeah.
and then went on to win 3,
Yeah.
a year off, 3. So I was always a Bulls fan because of Jordan. I've always been a Yankee fan. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I've been a Yankee fan since I was a child. My grandmother was a Yankee fan, and we used to go down to the old stadium. I had a friend that worked the umpire's locker. He was the head of the umpire's locker room.
Yeah.
So he used to take us down, and like I got tours of the inner bowels of the old Yankee Stadium.
Awesome.
Some autographs, like I got Ricky Henderson, Don Mattingly.
Oh, nice.
Dave Winfield, Phil Necro.
That's insane.
Steve Sachs. Kevin Moss.
There you go.
Kevin Moss.
No mas.
Kevin Moss, 316. He was a very devout Christian. And got his autograph because it was that year that he blew up on the scene and then completely shit the bed the following year.
Yeah.
Like, hey, by the way, this guy can't hit an off-speed pitch. Just throw him off-speed pitches. And that's what they did. And he sucked. I do have Pascual Perez's autograph, too.
The greatest thing I think I did baseball-wise is one day working for ESPN Radio, myself, Jeff Levesque, and somebody else.
Brian, no.
Maybe. He was there. He left before he had the opportunity. So anyway, the curator took us down into the archives.
Oh.
Insane, bro.
At ESPN?
No.
Where?
At the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
didn't say that shit. You just
even,
like, he took us
we
into
were
the
doing,
archives.
let me... oh, no, wait, wrong one.
That was... There we go.
So anyway, back when I worked for ESPN Radio, we
had
did...
sound effects this whole time?
Yeah.
Hi-oh.
So, going back in time, when I worked for ESPN Radio, we did the Hall of Fame weekend.
Okay.
And they had the Old Timers game that was there at Doubleday Field.
Yep.
We covered that. I did that. Actually, I was there for ESPN Radio for the whole weekend except for the Old Timers game. For some reason, ESPN Radio wasn't there. GNA was there, so I ended up working for GNA and doing that. That was weird. So Sean and Richie did their morning show from Doubleday Field back then. Anyway, I think it was Saturday night, Saturday or Sunday night, we got invited to go down into the archives of the Hall of Fame.
Nice.
And we got to hold, like, Lou Gehrig's, like,
left testicle.
No. No.
Not a thing?
No. So Lou Gehrig, he used to, when you won awards, there were these little like pins or something.
Okay.
But they were like made out of gold and had diamonds and stuff.
Right.
So he had them all soldered together and made a piece of jewelry for his wife, and she donated that to the Hall of Fame. I got to hold that. Got to hold Babe Ruth's jersey.
Left testicle.
No.
God damn it! I'll get this right.
His liver.
Oh.
Now you know I'm joking because there's nothing left of that.
It looked like a raisin.
Yeah. No, but I got to hold his jersey. He was a big man. Like, you think about, like, back in the day, like, people were small people. Mm-hmm. He was a big man.
You ever see the bat that he swung?
No.
Dude, it was like a 44-inch bat. It looked like a tree trunk.
No wonder why I hit everything.
The dude's hit now use like a 36.
Yeah.
And his was a good... It looked like a 44-inch bat.
I heard Ted Williams, something about it, like he swung a bigger bat, too.
I wouldn't doubt it. Huh. He's a real coxman.
Yeah. He really knew how to handle the larger wood.
Wow. Wow.
Never missed a beat.
There we go. That's God damn it. You need a producer for this thing to push
I'm
those
supposed to do
buttons.
that. I'm really bad at it. Dave always yells at me, too, when I
It's all right. It's my first time on it, and I'm like, dude, I know, like, we were testing the mics when we were warming up, and all of a sudden you hit a sound effect, and pretty sure. Why do you even have that?
I don't know. It actually came with it.
Did it? Because, like, I get the rim shot.
Yeah.
I get the wah, wah, wah. That's really all I get.
Yeah.
That guy over there probably should not be driving.
No, definitely not. I like the porn music. Ooh, yeah. So, yeah. Am I getting text or are you getting text?
It's not me. Why would your iPhone or your Apple Watch light up from my text?
I don't know.
That
I
would
was
be-
looking. It wasn't my watch. It lit up either.
I don't have one.
Yeah, I don't either. It's
That would be really weird.
It's not an Apple Watch. It's a Fitbit.
That's a Fitbit?
It's a Fitbit.
Wow.
It's a Fitbit Versa 2.
Yeah, you do like... I mean, no one would really know that you're into hiking and all that shit, but you are.
Especially after my COVID 25.
So you're 6 COVID's ahead of everyone else in the world?
No, that's my COVID 25. How much weight I put on since COVID started?
Oh, okay.
It's I started at 211 when this all went down, and now I'm at just shy of 240.
Oh. I haven't weighed myself in a long time. My daughter did say, though, she goes, if you didn't slouch and your posture was better, you wouldn't have such a big belly.
That's true.
And I'm like, I just kind of looked at her. I was like, that's a really shitty thing to say to your dad. But she was like, seriously, though. She's like, your posture sucks.
Well, just put it this way. The only reason why my posture is only this bad is because my gut is stopping it from getting any worse.
That's fair enough.
If it was smaller, I'd just slouch more.
One thing I have noticed is, like, I try to stretch at least a little bit during the day.
Yeah.
And, I'm, like, reaching further, but my stomach's not getting in the way, so that's a bonus. Like, a while ago, like, we did a Biggest Loser at one point in one of the studios, which I thought was trash, because I was like, I should automatically win this. I'm the biggest loser,
Yeah.
But
without even lifting anything.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't have to do anything, lose weight. I didn't know.
So if I gain weight, does that make me the biggest loser?
I mean, it depends on how you look at it. Yes. Like, but I was just like, I got confused by what we thought. I was like, I started doing meth and shit. And they were like, that's not what we meant by loser. I was like, oh.
I stopped paying my alimony.
Yeah. I was like, I stopped paying my child support.
Yeah.
I quit my job.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, how do you have any money between 2 ex-wives and 2 kids?
I don't pay my ex-wives any money.
Oh, no?
No, there's no alimony, nothing. I pay child support for my oldest.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, my second ex and I are actually really good friends.
Cool.
We're all, like, me, her, and her wife.
Yeah.
Which is also why we're exes.
Makes sense.
I was rolling with the wrong equipment.
Yeah.
So that shit didn't work. But we're all very good friends. We co-parent very, very well together.
Good.
So
you just buy when she needs something, and
it's kind of a split thing, and or like her mother does
she
stuff,
chooses,
I
you do
stuff.
half. Yeah,
like it's really
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's real cool.
Which, by the way, if you are co-parenting, that's how it should be done.
Yeah.
My first ex is just about the. I'm surprised I haven't gotten a text from her yet because I got paid this week. She's like, "Are you going to be able to
smell your bank account?
Are you going to be able to pay my support this week?" Yeah, hold up. And then I talk to my oldest, who's 17, and she knows what's happening, and she's like, "I don't see any of that money."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Mommy's supposed to do stuff with that money for you,
yeah.
like
buy you clothes, buy you food, buy you."
It's like, I got to go grocery shopping. Can you give me support? I'm like, yeah, but I'm not supposed to be buying. Like, my money's not for your son.
Yeah.
It's not my son. Like, that's not my kid. That's your other ex-husband's son.
Yeah. Damn.
Which, by the way, I'm like, you're on your second marriage, and both your husbands left you.
Yeah.
That's a sign.
Yeah.
For you that you might be the problem.
True.
But I digress.
Sound like Jake Barr.
What's up?
Jake Barr.
I digress? I don't even really know what it means.
He's a TikTok personality.
I'm on TikTok. I don't understand it. I just post like golf videos on there.
Yeah.
I do have a video on there, the interview I did with 21 Pilots.
Oh, there you go.
It was it's one of the most awkwardly hilarious interviews I've ever done in my life. They were cuddling with me and shit on their couch. It was, dude, we got along so well because they're so sarcastic.
Yeah.
And I really threw them for a loop when I was like, what's better, the internet or peanut butter?
Yeah.
And it was off and running. Terry was actually part of that.
Oh, was he?
He set the whole thing up, and then he videoed it. And I think I got like one of the fan accounts, because 21 Pilots fans are like insanely into them. And I didn't.
They're good. I'm a fan.
I think they're fantastic, but I didn't realize that they had such an. There are no more people that are here than there were, and it got loud as shit in here. Did you notice that?
I did.
Like, nobody came in.
That guy who's the DD for that side of the room,
right, is being the loudest. Awesome. So I'm gonna make sure I leave like after him or before him. But yeah, no. So Terry set that whole thing up, and someone I know is a big fan. It was like, make sure you know your stuff because they will call you out. And our personalities just like meshed.
Yeah.
And it was it was one of the best interviews I've ever done. One of their fan accounts on YouTube picked the video up.
Oh, awesome.
And the last I checked, it was at like 23,000 views or something like that.
That's awesome.
I was like, ooh, look at me go. Or maybe more. I would rather undersell it than oversell it, because if you look the video up and you're like, well, he's full of shit. He said it had 55,000 views and it has like 20. I sound like an idiot. But if I say it has 23,000 and it's got 75,000.
Yeah.
It just sounds like I haven't checked recently.
No.
So, and
I don't check any of my videos. I think the most I've ever had on any video is like 100,000.
Really? Was that one of ours, or was it just something you did?
I wouldn't be surprised if one of ours is over 50,000.
I wouldn't either. I know, like the Facebook videos, because I think you put
I
them
could
up.
be wrong. It could be like 20. It could be 10.
Yeah.
It could be 1.
6,000.
That's still pretty successul, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you're only pooling your market.
Right.
It's unlike the 21 Pilots.
Right. I think we posted our stuff on YouTube as well, right? Like on the YouTube channel that they had. But I think our Facebook videos did.
I don't think. Actually, I didn't. I think I didn't put them on YouTube because I didn't want them to compete.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't want competing videos. I just left them on Facebook because I wanted it to be more, something that people would do when they're at work trying to kill time.
Right.
Like I always say, I want to be a part of that water cooler conversation. Like, have you seen the video Blank did this weekend?
Yeah.
Or Nick and Dee did.
I think for us, like the most successful ones that we did as a team was definitely the ghost ones.
That was a lot of fun.
That was and I
can't wait to do it again.
I would, dude. We're talking about like doing investigations and stuff like that, which we will do. Just a matter of being able to do it because I think we're going back into lockdown soon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's really looking that way.
Kind of looks that way.
But I attribute a lot of that success for what we were doing and the niche that we were doing it in to Katie and Michelle.
Yeah.
Because that's where the reach was. Like they were sharing it. That's the success of our podcast. Like the Psychic on the Scene podcast. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But Katie is well known.
Yeah.
It's really Katie that's like Michelle is very good at what she does.
Yeah.
But Katie has done the shows and put herself out there and kind of more more Hollywood about it, even though she's extremely good at what she does.
For sure.
And it's
She
not,
is.
yeah, and it's not necessarily a show, but she's very good, but she does the stuff at the casinos and like a mass gathering of fans, and she does mass readings.
Yeah.
So, I've told them, I've looked up the metrics on the podcast that we do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, first of all, like, we have X amount of downloads and plays, which for me is successful. I'm not looking at hundreds of thousands of downloads and shit, but thousands. And then I look at the reach, and I'm like, oh, by the way, we've been listened to in Florida, we've been listened to in like California, San Diego, Seattle, Australia, Europe. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah.
I'm really surprised at how many Europeans listen to like my podcast, like Ireland and Great Britain.
Well, yeah, we were talking about that before we jumped on.
It's not a lot, but it's
enough
that it's more than one.
Right. So, but I almost wonder it's because you're talking beer.
Yeah.
And they may not understand that the capital in the title does mean
capital region.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, what is this? And it's like, oh, but you got a lot of beer drinkers over in England.
Yeah.
You go grab a pint at the local pub.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do a British accent. Because for some reason it would be like, good day, mate. And that's Australian.
What's funny is I started the podcast. I did like 4 or 5 episodes. And then I went out and I started looking for other beer podcasts just to see what they were like. And there's another guy locally. Chris has a podcast called Stories from a Bar. And it's still like a beer podcast, but he likes to interview the people behind like the drinks and the people behind and he likes to do it over local craft beer, which is great. And we tend to talk a little bit more about the beer and then the people second. So we have different styles. We're actually going to hopefully do a collaboration coming up here in December. I've reached out to Chris, and Chris is on board. He's also he's one of the only podcast right now that I know of that's on the craft beer side of Nippertown. So we're going to join him over there on Nippertown. So we've got, like I said, there's a lot going on. So I listened to him. Mostly I was nervous because I didn't realize he was there once I started when I first started my podcast. Right. I didn't know there was another local guy. I actually specifically looked for other local podcasts that do beer because I had a bunch of other ideas of what I want to do with podcasts. and this being the top one. And I really didn't see a whole lot out there. And then I listened to people in Australia. There was a couple podcasts out in Australia. There's some here local, or in the U.S. too. And they're just different. They're all different in their own little ways. And it's surprising how everyone brings their own style to each podcast.
Right.
So, yeah, I forget where I was going with that.
I don't know. I mean, it's not surprising that, especially locally, especially with the craft beers that are, I mean, it really exploded.
Oh, we were talking about, some of the success that we've had through our analytics. And I was surprised that, and I did the same thing. I researched podcasts in Australia and also Ireland and, just other places, English-speaking places.
Where they understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, me looking up a German podcast is just, it's all Greek to me.
Oh, okay.
And if I try looking up on a Greek podcast, it's all, Russian to me. So.
It's all German here.
Yeah.
Right on cue. Look at that. The producer of this show sucks.
He's also the host.
He's weird.
He smells funny.
It smells like burning. It tastes like burning. I like the fact that there are so many avenues with podcasts, that there's so many similar ones, but at the same time, nothing is the same.
No.
Like, nobody can do what Joe Rogan does.
Yeah.
Nobody can do what Joe Budden does with the Joe Budden podcast, which is one of my favorite podcasts, too, as well. And have you listened to Drink Champs at all?
Nope.
It's with Nori.
Okay.
He's the reggae. He was kind of like a reggaeton rapper.
Yeah, I know Nori.
And he does it with some.
Nori.
He did what? That's the only song I remember from him.
What's Pharrell did a song with Nori.
Yeah, well, because I think early in his career he was involved with the Neptunes. They were producing for him and stuff. But he does like this. It's called Drink Champs, where they sit around, and it's like 2 hours, and they're just doing shots and drinking and like smoking, and it's like by like 45 minutes into the podcast, it's an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, what am I listening to? But they have a bunch of old school guys on. They'll bring some new school guys on, but it's more like giving the shine and the props to the old school, like Ja Rule or Fat Joe.
Yeah. Big Pun.
Well, you can't have him on the podcast.
No, he's dead.
Yeah, so they don't have.
I didn't realize. I'm sorry. I thought they were giving tribute.
No. He'll have like guests.
Oh, that are old school.
Yeah, and he'll. It's an interesting podcast, but especially because of the fact that they get hammered on this podcast.
Well, I mean, if he's got old school hip hop artists, I'd love to listen to him. What about the Beatnuts?
Was it?
The Beatnuts ever been on there?
They may have been. Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, he's got hundreds of episodes. A lot of these guys have been doing the podcast thing for years. Like Bill Burr's on like his 8. Like he's been podcasting for like 8-9 years.
It's crazy. Like I remember listening to like Joe Rogan like 24 or 124, and then seeing like he had episode like 1024, and I was just like, what happened? But then sometimes he does like 2 a day, 3 a day.
And at this point, aside from stand up and the UFC shit,
this is all he does.
It's what he does.
And that's where that's what's actually making him the most money.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now he's got his
Spotify,
his deal.
Yeah, $120 million.
But I'm worried about that podcast.
Well, first of all, if he gets dropped from Spotify, he gets dropped from Spotify.
Right.
But he's still going to get paid. He's still going to be on iTunes. He's still on iTunes now.
But because his exclusive deal is at the end of this year, like the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
So he's carried on the other platforms for now.
Yeah, and he's going to go solely.
What's going to end up happening is none of his new shit is going to be on the other platforms. He's
going to get paid, and then he just goes back to the other platforms.
Right.
For those who don't know, the employees at Spotify take the words of the guests of Joe Rogan and make him Joe Rogan. So they get upset with Joe Rogan because he'll have Alex Jones on, who will talk all kinds of gibberish,
right?
Which is entertaining, but I mean at the same time he's a conspiracy theory guy,
right?
And he's super right wing. So they'll take that, and people don't realize Joe is left wing. He's not a right, and he's labeled as alt right.
Which is weird, and I think he's a Democrat, a registered Democrat, but I think he's more of a.
I think he's a libertarian.
I think he's a middle of the road.
He considers himself
Democrat.
Yeah.
But at the same time, dip out of California real quick.
Yeah.
Like move to Texas.
Yep.
So, which is, and I think what people get confused is he has these people on his podcast.
Yeah.
Like, he had Bernie Sanders on his podcast.
Yeah.
He's talked with Edward Snowden multiple times.
Yeah.
He says he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, he comes out and says,
oh, yeah.
I'm not really that smart of a guy. Like, I'm a boxhead. Or, but he's really intelligent.
He is. He's highly intelligent, but what he means by is he's not as versed as his guests, and that's the reason why he has his guests on. So his guests will give him information. He'll take that information and make an intelligent, assumption or understanding of it, and then
Yep. And I think he got himself in a little bit of a hang-up because he did regurgitate some shit that was not factual.
Which he tries very hard. He has a guy, his producer is his fact checker, and he tries to fact check as they go along. Well, and sometimes he'll stop the show and say, "Get this right."
He said something about the wildfires.
Yeah.
In I don't know if it was I think it was more so out in Seattle. Like there was fire, like something. But he was saying how it was arson and people were arrested because of it, this, that, and the other thing, and it turned out to not be true.
Yeah.
And he put it out there as fact, and I know some of the Spotify people kind of went, we can't have him just, saying shit. And the fact-checking thing is just weird to me now at this point anyway. Like, it's just, we'll fact-check him in real time. I'm like, yeah, but is that what we're going to do now? Is we're going to fact-check everything? Like, why didn't we couldn't fact-check politicians in the 80s?
Yeah.
Don't tell me that, don't look at me and go, this politician X is lying. Politician everyone is lying.
Yeah.
Like, none of them are honest.
What happens when he has guys like Bob Lazar? How are you going to fact check Bob Lazar, who's trying to pull the
Did you watch or listen to that episode?
I did. It's insane. I heard that Joe always talks about an episode that he did with Lex Friedman. So listen, if you're interested, if you listen to the Bob Lazar, Joe Rogan also talks a lot about Bob Lazar and Lex Friedman. You got to check out that podcast because they really get into the technical stuff more so than because Joe's not that technical when it comes to stuff.
No, the Bob Lazar episode. By the way, for those of you that don't know who Bob Lazar is, he worked at Area 51 and he
worked at a place. That's the real area. Area 51 is a government testing place, but then he worked at another spot that was like the UFO Area 51
which
part.
He claims that in the thing that Terry and I have talked about it.
Yeah.
The reason I tend to believe this guy is because his story has never changed.
No. And on top of it, he mentioned elements back in the 80s that were just recognized here in the last 3 or 4 years.
Element 115 or something like that they still can't get right?
Yeah. It's unstable. They can't stabilize it for very long.
No, it's like milliseconds that they can stabilize. And which he did make the claim. He said whoever develops element 115 and can stabilize it wins.
Yeah.
He's like, you cannot... Like, they will rule the world because you can't... Fuck... It manipulates gravity.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So...
It's a fuel for, anti-gravity or something, yeah.
It's kind of like what they make... Like, the aliens make all of their stuff out of.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the prop dads are going nuts again. But no, I would definitely recommend checking out Bob Lazar. First of all, the episode, which is 2.5 hours long. And he does have a documentary.
Yeah, that Netflix one was pretty good, too.
So, it's I
say listen to the podcast first, then watch the show.
Yes. And it's difficult to discredit this guy who has not changed his story at all. Whether you believe in aliens and UFOs or not, please don't be as ignorant as to think that we're the only beings in this universe.
It's okay to be skeptical. The same thing with the ghost.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not saying it's real. I'm not saying it's not real. I just try to take a look at stuff and try to understand it.
But when you experience certain things that you can only attest to, like a bowling ball being dropped by your foot.
True.
And you went, that was weird. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, well,
weird stuff happened.
Yes. So it's
for sure.
It's hard to discredit it, but at the same time, it's good to be optimistic and or pessimistic. Huh?
You're not on the mic anymore.
Oh.
There you go.
It's good to be skeptical of it because you want to weigh all of your options that make sense first.
Yeah.
And when you can't figure it out, then it's like a paranormal thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, I gotta pee.
All right. So we're gonna wrap this episode up, man.
It was fun.
Thank you so much. Good. I'm glad you had a good time. We'll get you on again. Maybe we'll do it at a brewery or we'll do it at 20 North or something.
We can talk about beer.
We can definitely talk. We talked about beer today.
We talked a little bit about beer.
Yeah, that's what we do. We drank beer. We drank beer the whole entire time.
We did.
And it's the Capital Brew podcast. We talk about what's brewing in the Capital District. You are a DJ on KISS 102.3, so you're one of the things that are brewing in the 518.
I like how you did that.
You're welcome. And also, I would like to talk about, real quick, what time is your show? When can people get you?
7 to midnight on KISS 102.3. I also do Sunday afternoons, 12 to 4 on KC 101 in New Haven, Connecticut.
Yes.
I also have Inside the Mind of D. Scott.
Yep.
Which is my podcast, which can be heard on, it's on iTunes, it's on Apple Podcasts. iHeart.
Just like this podcast?
Yes. And also
Spotify, right next to Joe.
I don't even know if I'm on Spotify.
I'm on Spotify.
Good for you. I don't think I submitted it
I'm
to
on
Spotify.
Google, and I'm on
a bunch.
Yeah.
And then
stuff I've never even heard of.
The paranormal Spreaker.
Spreaker. Yep.
That's where we house it.
Yeah, I did the same thing, yeah.
Right. And, well, it makes sense because we kind of were connected through the same people to do it.
I started off going through iHeart on this, and then
right.
I ended up just doing it on my own.
Nice. And then Psychic on the Scene, which is the other podcast I'm involved in. And I got to go because I'm going to pee my pants.
All right. Not a problem, bro. Yeah, we'll listen to you. We'll talk to you soon. Seacrest out.
Nice.